Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel Planet Build. And welcome to part 18 of Sunshine Scandinavia. In today's video we're going to do three things. First of all, we're going to ride the deep dive coaster in the back of our park, which is actually finished right now. Second, we're going to talk about the Western theme, which was announced by Frontier a couple of days ago and will be released on March 20th, and how we're going to add that theming into this park. And third but not least, we're going to start working on the new area for Sunshine Scandinavia, which will be the Mythic and Olympic area. And we're going to add the dueling wave coaster, which I created in the beginnings of Planet Coaster, but perfectly fits the theming of our Mythic area. So we're going to start working on that one as well. First of all, like I said, we're going to ride the deep dive coaster all the way in the back of our park. In part 17, I said this area over here just needed one more part to be finished, and then eventually I thought maybe it's better and more interesting to start working on the new area, the Mythic area for Sunshine Scandinavia, rather than placing the same type of theming onto this mountain and into the queue for the deep dive coaster, because I already made about 3 or 4 videos of this area over here. So I decided to finish this small area over here on my own time, made some caves, did the lighting inside the caves, and eventually did the scenery for the queue of the deep dive coaster. So for now we're going to ride this one. We're going to see what this one has to offer. First of all, I do need to say this is still missing a ride sign. All those ride signs will be added probably when every ride and attraction is located in my park and placed in my park, because I'm going to use those billboards, create some custom images for those ride signs. So I'm going to add those one in later. But for now, let's just go ahead and see what this queue has to offer and if we can actually ride this coaster. Now there's still some theming coming to this section over here where you walk through the entrance of the deep dive coaster, and I was thinking about some warning signs for the coaster, which you actually also see in some real theme parks, and maybe a seat tester for the coaster attractions in my park. Now this is basically all in the backside of the mountain and in the underground, so therefore I had a little bit of trouble building it, because there's a lot of work, there's more work to it than you eventually would think when you would build underground. And also the lighting underground is something that's not working properly, so I did had to add in all those show lights just to make sure there's enough light in this section. So you got the queue over on this side. I'm not quite sure why my mouse is blinking sometimes, but. And then eventually got the loading station for the deep dive coaster. Now I do have a lot of trouble already with entering this coaster. I do believe it's only working when this coaster is open, but it's not open right now. So we're going to exit this one. We're going to put it on stop. We're going to close it, then we're going to pause it, test it, ride it, and we're going to switch seats because I want to sit in the middle. And also this is a perfect coaster because the criteria is all on green, so I'm quite curious how busy this coaster will be, because it fits every criteria that is on the ratings over here, or on the test ratings. Hit the pause button, and then let's go ahead and ride it. And then eventually the people or the guests are at the unloading station, and then the train will travel to the loading station again to eventually pick up their new guests over there. So I'm going to exit it right here, right now. And there you have it for the deep dive coaster. And I do like this this coaster a lot because I think it blends in nicely with the theming of the coral mining district, but also travels through the coral reef district over here, where you have the flowers in the water, you got the fish in the water, you got some coral in the water as well. So it hits both themes as well. And I do like the way this is all the way in the backside of the park, where you have a view when you're on top of the hill over here of the whole park. And when the Mythic theme over here, where this area is reserved for, would be finished as well, you get a nice view of the whole park. You get the volcano in the middle, which still needs some theming though, but then you got eventually you got a nice view of the park. And still you got the custom loop that I made especially for this coaster, and I think that is looking pretty well for this area. Yeah, and I'm quite happy with this one. But let's just talk about the second thing that we're going to do for this video, and that is the western area, because I wasn't expecting a new theme pack coming to a Planet Coaster 2 before I was actually going to finish this park. So the only thing that I did wanted to add was the Mythic and Olympic area and the theming on the volcano. But then a couple of days ago they announced the Western pack, and I'm quite happy with it because there cannot be enough packs in this game and enough scenery and stuff like that. So quite happy with that one. But we do need to find a place where we can add the Western theme. And as you can see, this park is quite packed already, where we are going to add the Mythic area over here. This will be reserved for the parking lot. This small area inside the main pathway will be for the rest of the swimming pools. So we still got one area left, and that is the left side of the park and the back side of our Viking area. So when the Western pack comes out, I do believe I could finish the Mythic area within 3 weeks. So I can start with the Western theme immediately in this park. And I got 3 options for generating traffic for the Western area, because all my areas are connected to the main pathway in my park, which surrounds the volcano centerpiece. So you get the Viking area, you got the coral reef district over here, you got the coral mining district over here, and you got the Mythic, and those are all connected to the main walkway in this park. So I do need to figure out how I'm going to generate traffic and make some pathways for the guests into the Western area. Now this will be reserved for the Western area, and I'm probably going to add a walkway underneath this tunnel, because this tunnel now leads to the monorail station in the Viking area, and I can easily make an opening all the way in the back, which can provide as an entrance for the Western area. And I also got a dead end section over here, which provides for the exits of both the coral reef mining attraction and the flight at Black Rock Cave. So I can create an opening over here in the backside, just cover this area with bushes, and eventually you got a nice walkway also up to the Western area. And third but not least is but I think it's too narrow, is a walkway all the way in the backside of this wooden coaster over here. But I don't think it would fit nicely, because you already get the entrance for the Viking area over on this side, so it would be way too narrow. So I do believe that these are the 2 best options to have a entrance for my Western area. Now how that Western area is going to look will be decided in any future updates and when the park comes out, because I don't have any idea of what kind of scenery pieces are in the Western theme yet. So quite curious for that one. Now let's focus on today. Let's focus on the things that we're going to do for the Mythic area. Like I said, I'm going to add in, I'm actually going to drop in the dueling wave coaster, which is a blueprint I already created. And one thing that has to go, and a little bit with a pain in the heart, is this small area over here. And this is the small area I created in the beginnings of Sunshine Scandinavia, but I think it will not fit when I would add in the dueling wave coaster. And I can show you guys an example. I'm going to do this in speed build later on, but I'm just going to show you guys the plans that I got for this section over here. And I'm going to do this in speed build, otherwise this creating this area or placing down this blueprint would actually drop my FPS like quite hard, as you can see over here. So we got the dueling wave coaster, we got the walkway, which will be the main walkway into the Mythic area over on this side, and you got the arena over on the back side. So I want to create the main entrance for this area over here. I need to adjust this pathwork a little bit. Then we got a large area over on the left side, which will be for a water ride, because there is still no water ride in my park yet. And as you can see, this space is kind of tight, and I also want 1 or 2 flat rides in this area as well. So I do believe this area needs to go, and that also has an advantage because I do believe it's better. I'm going to delete this one right now, otherwise my FPS is going crazy. This area has to go because I do believe it's better to have all my swimming pools in the middle section of my park surrounding the volcano. So this is kind of an outsider in my park. So I do want to have this area reserved for the Mythic team as well. And I still need to rework the power supply for the park, but also some staff areas as well. And that could be nicely connected to the parking lot, which will be over on this side here. So let's just go ahead and skip to the or start the speed build section. We're going to delete a lot of this area over here to have a nice working space for the Mythic area. We're going to plan where our next coasters will be. I'm going to put in some pathwork, so let's get right into it. So it's actually kind of sad to see this small area over here being deleted. I put a lot of effort and time in this one in the beginnings of Sunshine Scandinavia, but I do believe this area, there's a better purpose for this area, and in this case that's for the Mythic and Olympic area that we're going to create. And also those 2 pools were a little bit of outsiders in the rest of the park. I do want all my pools on the inner circle in the surroundings of that volcano and not on the right side. So those 2 outsiders, I think I can miss them and use that terrain for the Mythic area. Now this is the blueprint I was talking about. This is the dueling wave coaster, which I created in the beginning of Planet Coaster 2, and I slightly reworked it a couple of weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago when Frontier announced their dueling coaster challenge. So I reworked this one. I added in the sync option for the coaster, and that made it run a little bit more smooth. And both coasters now also have a test rating, which are fully green. So those 3 test ratings are all in green for both coasters. So I think that's a nice coaster to add in this section. Now I do have to lower the terrain over here because I want the main pathway up into this area on the same level as the rest of my pathway in the park, and mostly the main pathway in this park. And it also gives me the option to fully surround this Mythic area with water, just to give it that Mediterranean vibe as well. I'm going to use the pebbles and the sand painting, terrain painting for this area. But when I created this blueprint, I was creating this one in the Mediterranean biome sandbox, and unfortunately that sandbox gave me much more options when it comes to the terrain painting for this type of theming. And in this case, I only got to work with the pebbles and the sand ones. So to put in some more detail later on, I'm going to add in some highlights of soil to make it a little bit darker and not make it look like one big white open space, some open sandy beach. So hopefully in any future updates they can adjust that so that you can choose from all paintings in the game, no matter what sandbox you're in. Now what I usually do for my new areas that I'm going to create, I'm just going to paint the terrain to see how big a terrain can be and how many space I got left to work with. So in this case I want a large Greek temple building on the left side, which can provide as a scenery route for my monorail, but also for a water attraction. And I'm not quite sure what kind of water attraction I want in this one, but I'm probably going to choose the flume attraction in this case. Now, like I said, I do like to cover up the area with painting just to see how many space I got left and where I'm going to where I'll be able to put some pathways and some buildings in. And in this case, I can create a walkway up to the next area just to see how many space I still got left. But we're almost at the end of our speed build, and afterwards I'm just going to talk through this one more time to show you guys the things that we did so far. And so that is the start of our new area in Sunshine Scandinavia. I do need to say that I'm more used to making speed build videos than I'm used to making videos like these, but I just wanted to share with you the thoughts that I have about creating a new area in my park. And therefore I do use a lot of terrain painting just to mark some areas on the map, like in this case the parking lot for the future update. Also for a future update will be the power supply over on this side, and I think I can narrow the brown area a little bit more down to have more space for scenery. And then eventually one walkway up to the island over here, one walkway up to the monorail station. And then you got the red section over here, which is reserved for the main building of our water attraction. And then you still got two small places here left for some flat rides. And that is basically it. And I do believe that part 19 will speed up the process a little bit more than today's video. Because part 19 will be a speed build video where I'm just going to see how far we can go on creating the main building. And even placing down the monorail station as well. But for now, I want to thank you guys. Like I said, this is not the type of video I normally make, but I don't want to withhold you on my thoughts on the things I want to build for Sunshine Scandinavia. And you've seen the deep dive coaster, and you've also seen the area where I do want to put in my Western theme, the new Western theme that's coming to Planet Coaster 2 very quickly. So thank you for watching. Very proud of my park so far. Leave a like if you also like my park. If you got any tips on my video making, if you got any advice on things that you see in my park so far, just let me know in the comments, and hope to see you guys next time. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.